Hi, I'm Kel.
And I'm Kai, and this is Kel&Kai. We're two girls who share an account. Welcome to our channel! Today we got something really special for the channel. This is a part of our introductory series. We just want to give you guys a nice little Q&A to get to know us just a little bit more. We have divided our questions into various sections, and we'll let you know all about the chaotic, mysterious duo. Our first category is friendship and personality vibes. Question number 1. How did we meet?
That's a good question. How did we meet? We met in church.
You met in church.
We met in church. Her brother was a drummer at our church, and it was my first time coming back to the church. It was my uncle who was the keyboardist, and he was the one that brought her brother because her brother went to the school that he taught. So once he introduced me to her brother, I got introduced to her. And how old were you, young one, back then? Because that was like 2015, by the way.
How old was I? Oh my God.
That's 10 years ago.
I was 12.
She was 12 when we met. Am I going to say how old I was? Of course not. But know that she was 12.
From my perspective, it was mainly because my uncle went to their church first, actually.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
My uncle went to his church first, and he started to talk about the church with my brother. And then my brother realized that her uncle was to the school that he was at, and he said, you know, you're a really good drummer. We want to come. We want to like let you play the drums for the church and everything. And he started talking about the church to me, and he said they have a lot of youths in the church. It's a really good youth program. Like, you should come to the youth night and whatever like that. That's when I went to the church for the first time. I went to the youth area, and I think I went to like 2 or 3 before I started to go to the Sunday churches and whatever like that. So that's how we met. Speaking of how we met, what was our first impressions of each other, if we could remember that?
It was so long ago. All I can think of, wow, look at this cute little thing. Like, she was the same age as my sister, like, I think a year
Older.
Yeah, a year older than my sister. So, like, I was more so indifferent to her because her and my sister started off as friends. Like, yeah, we talked, but her and my sister were more so friends than we were.
At least she remembers, because I don't. I really don't remember my first impression of Kel, because like I was so focused on not trying to make a fool of myself when I first got there, and I knew I wanted to make friends, but I was too scared to make any, so I have no idea. I can't remember. I literally can only remember our friendship like a little afterwards. Like, I think when they used to have like the New Year Xmas thing.
Oh, the party thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the church we used to go to, like, every New Year's Day, they would have, like, a gathering for the entire church to come to, and it'd just be, like, a day of fun for the church. And I think that was the first time you came to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, that's, like, from then on, I could remember more about it, but before that, no.
Who was your uncle?
My uncle, his name is AJ. I think you guys probably know him by Austin or something like that.
I think so. He's short?
Kinda, yeah. And he's skinny. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And he got like a big head.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Austin, yeah.
Wow, okay.
That's my uncle.
Crazy.
Yeah, but like he went there
I
first.
had a crush on your uncle at one point.
Moving on.
Okay. Next question. Who's more dramatic, laid back, organized, chaotic?
More dramatic is obviously me.
She's the more dramatic one between the two of us. That does not mean that I'm laid back. I am, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
The funny part about it is I'm the more dramatic between the two of us, and I'm also the more laid back in terms of like dealing and handling situations. I tend to come with a more I wouldn't say unbiased, but I tend to come with a more like unperturbed approach, if that makes sense. Like, unless it like affects me emotionally, I just come in like, okay, let's get this over with. The more organized between us is obviously her.
I mean, I would say that I'm far from organized. Like, I can't even write notes down with sense.
I get why you're saying that I'm the more organized between the two of us, but I really do think like the way you approach things are so like meticulous in a way that you try to deal with things like one step at a time, and that's what I find organized about you.
Oh, that's the only thing. No, everything else is a mess.
But I can understand why she thinks that I'm organized. I will not get into heavy detail about that. You'll have to subscribe to find out more.
Okay, and who's more chaotic? That would be me.
That would be her.
I'm the yes. Yes. I like most times I'm more cool tone. Like I'm more like ooh, but let me get a burst of energy. I will be off the walls. I will be bouncing off the walls.
Literally.
All right, next question. What's one thing you admire about the other person? What's one thing I admire about you?
I don't know. Our friendship is based on love. But I don't know.
I like how adorable you are. Like, a lot of people tend to find you very lovable and very cute. That's one thing I admire about you.
It's always so weird to hear that because, like, a lot of people say, oh my goodness, you have so much adorable quirks. You're such a cute person. And I just go, am I really? Obviously, I'm not going to see it because I'm myself. But, like, I think one thing that I admire about Kel is even in the midst of adversity, she tries to come up with a logical way to disperse situations. That's a really admirable thing about her.
I just love how I'm like, oh my gosh, I love how cute you are. And she's like, the way you go about everything.
It's true. I think I say this because that's what I admire the most about her. Like,
oh wait, is that the question? What do you admire the most?
No.
Oh.
It's one thing. What's one thing? I have many things I admire about you. I'm just gonna say this one thing.
Okay.
But I think, cause like when I saw the question, that was like the first thing I thought of. Like she takes even like I said, even in the midst of adversity, she takes a more logical approach into making sure things are dealt with entirely, and to make sure that not only her feelings but everybody's feelings is heard and accounted for. So yeah, I really admire that about her. Let's move on before the vibes get weird. What's your friendship dynamic in 3 words?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What word would you say?
Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another word I'd probably say is God-centered.
God-centered, most definitely. What did I say? It's a word for ranting. Like, TED Talk. That's like 2 words, but that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. We're chaotic, God-loving, TED talking. Well, God-centered. I mean, God-loving, God-centered, same difference. Chaotic, God-centered, TED talking gals, you know what I'm saying? And the last part of our friendship and personality traits are pet peeves about each other.
Oh my gosh, you go first. I want to hear what you gotta say. I have to hear what she has to say.
Our friendship is built off of love, okay? No, my God. Our friendship is built off of love, trust,
loyalty,
value. Do I have a pet peeve of yours? I would probably say this is more, it's supposed to be an admirable trait. Like some people would look at it and be like, oh my goodness, you're such a kind person, da, 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 da. But I really don't like when she often puts other people before herself in a way that's detrimental to her, even at the cost of her own emotions, even at the cost of her own heartbreak. That peeves me.
Such deep answers. Oh my gosh. Now I feel like I need to give a deep answer.
No.
But the thing that comes to mind that is a big pet peeve of mine for her, I have a few, but the biggest one is how she gets on herself. So she tends to be really hard on herself a lot in everything she does. She could breathe air and be like, why am I breathing air like this? so yeah, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves, is like, because sometimes I just want to shake her and be like, give yourself a break. Like, you're human. Like, shut up. You're doing fine. Nobody had it right the first time. So yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Okay, now to go into, I don't know why I gave it back there. To go into the next topic, the thing that we're all here for.
Right?
K-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our very first K-pop core question. That's the thing for a K-pop core. Who was your first ever bias?
Suga from BTS. I remember specifically in 2017 finding out about K-pop and Korean culture as a whole, and I wanted to learn Korean, and Google told me the best way to learn it was by music and books. So I went and I searched up Korean music. BTS Not Today was the first thing that came up. And the minute I saw Suga, my mind was completely blown by his raps, by his looks, by like everything. That was like first ever bias. First ever.
Oh, well, you sound like we should have had that as a question. How did we get into K-pop? I also got into K-pop because of BTS, but they weren't, like, there's no one in BTS that was my first bias. It was actually GD from Big Bang, and I didn't know that GD was K-pop until I got into K-pop. So like around, I think, what song was it? I think it was Crayon, or one song he had. I would have to look it up. Actually, let me look it up now. Yeah, so I looked it up. It was called Crayon. I remember hearing that, and I think it had an MV as well. And I just remember falling in love with G-Dragon. And like years later, like 2017, I'm looking up like fan fiction books to read on Quotive, and I keep seeing this name like Jungkook, like what is that? Who is that? And then I come to find out that it was BTS. I looked up BTS, absolutely fell in love with their lore. Before I even fell in love with the music, I fell in love with their lore, and yeah, so. Did I have a bias in BTS, I guess? It was J-Hope. J-Hope was my bias. And then Jungkook. Yeah.
Thank you, conspiracy theorists. But let's to bank off of that, since we know who our first bias were. How about our ultimate group? Do we have an ultimate group?
Yes, I do. My ultimate group is Stray Kids. My alt group, my favorite alt group, my one and only alt group is Stray Kids. I've been with them. We've both been with them from 2017.
From the survival show.
From the survival show. Because Stray Kids debuted in 2018.
Yep.
So.
I have two alt groups. I can't really pick between them, but they are Stray Kids and P1 Harmony. I love them. I love them both very dearly. That's all I have to say.
Next question. What K-pop comeback lives in your head rent-free? For me, I would have to say GOT7, Winter Heptagon. Like, that came out in, February? And that's still in my head. Like, I still listen to that album on repeat just about every month, honestly.
I think I misinterpreted this question when I read it, because when they said, what K-pop comeback lives in your head rent-free, I didn't really think of it as like a K-pop comeback I continuously come back to, because if that was the point, then it's the Killin' It comeback by P1 Harmony. But when I interpreted the question, I thought it was like the K-pop question that forever changed you type thing, because if it's that, then it's fair. When fair draw. When I tell you, it was literally a Monday morning. I had school. That Monday morning, I decided to watch the music video, her and I were sending texts back and forth, back and forth. She's saying what all she likes about the music video. I'm just there sending voice notes. I'm speechless. I don't think a K-pop comeback has ever rendered me as speechless as Fair did. I don't like it.
Well, if we're going based off of that, who would it be for me? Case 143. Case Chanbin, can I be your boyfriend?
Yes.
I had that on repeat.
Yes, you did.
Just that one sentence, not the song. I mean, I love the song. The song's on repeat too, but that one sentence, that changed my whole constitution, bro. Moving on.
I think the song that had me on repeat, like, I think the part that had me on repeat the most in Case 143 was A, B, C, D, E, F. That part. Oh my goodness. Oh, anyways, like she said, we moving
Can
on.
I be your boyfriend?
No, we moving on. We're moving on. What is a K-pop song that makes you emotional for no reason? I think for me, it's Cover Me by Stray Kids. Listen, I don't know what it is. With Cinnamon just, so cover me now. The test. That's all I have to say, okay? Send tweet.
For me, it's beautiful. Listen to me. When I first heard that song, I cried. When I listened to it again, I cried. Even up to this day, I still cry every time I hear that song. When they come with the second verse, the tears, they just start to well up. Like, I just resonate so much with that song. Oh my gosh. I need a Beautiful Part 2. Stat, Stray Kids, please. Please. Beautiful Part 2. Thank you.
Thank you. The funny part about it is, I had a feeling she was gonna say that. I had a feeling she was gonna say that when I looked at the questions. I said, you know, I bet my bottom dollar Kel would say Beautiful by Stray Kids.
Listen to me. When I say that Stray Kids is my alt group, I mean that.
Can we move on to the next question, please?
I mean, if we're talking about Stray Kids, sure. Okay, next question. If you can join any K-pop group for a day, who would it be and why? For me, it's VVZ, and it's because I just love how soft and feminine they are. Like, I just love that they don't shy away from their femininity, and I just love their songs. I love singing their songs. I love how soft their songs are. I love it.
A K-pop group that I would join for a day and why? You know, I still don't know. But if I were to, like, you know, be put on the spot and think about it, I'd probably say NMIX. I really love how vocally in tune they are. They're really great performers, but their vocals, their performances, their stage presence, and everything of that sort, they like to keep them all on a similar line. And I really love their polishedness, especially with their most recent comeback. That was just so beautiful. And I think if I were to join a group for a day, it would probably be NMIX. Next question is, what's your most prized piece of K-pop merch? I'll go first. This nice little Stray Kids tote bag that I got from the tour. You can ask Kel. I literally carry this with me everywhere. This is a very good bag. I don't even care about the fact that, well, I do care about the fact that it's Stray Kids, obviously, but like, it's such a useful bag. Like, I didn't get it just to have it sitting up in my house. I use in this bugger, okay? But it's such a very good, useful bag. It fits like my nice little iPad in it. I haven't seen if it fits my laptop in it yet, but it fits my iPad. It fits a lot of books in here. My phone can go in here. So like, even if I want to use it for like school or anything of that sort, it can work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this. This is my baby, okay?
For me, it's actually not anything official. So if I have to pick official and unofficial, this is my most prized possession. It was a bunch of stickers that I got from different albums, and I put them together and put them on my iPad. Let me show you.
Like, look at it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
There you go. It also has acne on it, but I actually really love this. But if we're talking official, if I had to talk about an official K-pop merch, it would be this. I love how cozy it is. I love how warm it is. It's so cute. And then there's the little thing at the bottom. Best believe when winter comes, I'll be wearing this.
She threw it into the abyss.
Okay, next question. Any artists you've seen live or want to see live? We both seen Stray Kids live this past June. Yeah, end of June. I want to go and see them again.
Really? And again and again
and again. Like, would I get front row or try to get barricade? No. But I'd go again. But other than Stray Kids, I actually really do want to see a Stacy concert. I really want to see that. God7.
But yeah, we have seen Stray Kids live in concert this year, and we have seen P1 Harmony live in concert last year. We're trying to go and see them again, you know what I'm saying? But if I had to pick like who I'd want to see NCT Dream, I'd love to go to an NCT Dream concert, and I'd also love to go to a 17 concert. Oh my goodness, like I know for a fact those performances would be absolutely legendary, you know what I'm saying? Girl group wise, of course, my girl's aespa. Yes. But yeah, that's what I would do. Next question. I'm pretty sure we should have made a list for this one. But who's your favorite K-pop dancer, K-pop vocalist, and K-pop rapper?
So favorite dancer has to be Yeonjun from TXT. I just love the way that boy moves. Oh my gosh. Second close best would be Lino though. Yeah. Favorite vocalist would have to be Siyoon. Listen, her voice ascends me to the heavens. I'm kidding. It doesn't, but it feels very close. Like that can really happen. Like I love her vocal tone so much. I love it so much. And then favorite rapper would probably be and this might be a hot take, but it's